I'll start with defining collective action. Who'd like to have a stab at how they interpret and explain or embody collective action?
I want to reflect on the process we started with the collective impact work that we did. This all played out live with many of us that were in the room, where we were kind of getting stuck on, are we creating a vision, like almost like a business plan. It's not what we were doing. But what we did achieve was to look at the big picture and look forward. We needed to agree on the roadmap and what it is that we're wanting for the future. And so being able to spend a lot of time defining that and how we fit in that framework allowed for that collective impact or collective action to start taking place and to continue.
So that shared agenda, I guess, is finding that area of commonality.
Bringing communities together, bringing people together and trying to find that common goal. But that can take a long time to do, and it doesn't always start with people aligned around a common vision. So there's a process to go through there, and often it involves shared learning experience. It can require a demonstration site. So when we think of the wonderful work that Warren's done here, if they can find common threads and things that they share, then it's easier to move in that direction.
From a collective action perspective, ultimately we're dealing with humans. So we've spoken about a lot of other things today in nature and the importance of nature. We've spoken about, the tools and the science, but we can't forget the humans. They're our biggest asset and the biggest lever we have. So when we talk about trust, in particular with growers or producers, it's not built in the boardroom. It's actually built in the paddocks. And that takes a lot of time. You need to be consistent in your relationship and how you go about and to build that trust. Trust is not a given.
Talk about paradigm shifts. What does that look like when we are actually, it is First Nations peoples, Indigenous perspectives, then it is not an afterthought, it is front and centre, if not the genesis of the conversation.
Because what does that look like? It looks like being on country together, just feeling and sensing. Like, I love and respect all the stuff they know, and I know nothing about farming, and I don't even know what I know, but I feel and hear and connect with country and spirit. And people like Stuart, Diane, Ian also do the same thing. So when we are doing this together on country and having this experience, different information and knowledge starts to come forward, and we just start to look at things through a different lens. And to me, I think that's where it kind of all starts.
It's also the respect for knowledge, and producers, farmers or landholders or Indigenous knowledge needs to be respected and valued and really and not extracted. And Norrell talked about being the extraction, and that's really key to that valuable knowledge, making sure that that value of that knowledge is really transferred.
So we talk a lot about trust and alignment, and it's very central to the work that we're doing as well. But one of the things that often gets forgotten when we're trying to build trust and make change is difference. And when we're all focused on alignment, we sometimes don't want to talk about difference. And I think it's important not to condense that difference. Because when we do that, trust withers away. So it needs to be both, finding the alignment and also celebrating and speaking about difference.
It's also like, what is the space that you create to have the good conversations? So it is thinking about and designing that space and that process to have these slower down conversations and to have the real conversations and to show up as a person and as people. There's often this resistance. Oh, I don't want to slow down. And what's this? This is not action. This is talk. This is not action. And I think it is very important to stay with that and to really design these spaces where these conversations are being held. And then this resistance slows down, and it is often then being acknowledged, like, this is what we really need, this is what I need.
The good things come when you invest in those relationships, and that takes time. Right? That doesn't happen in a project timeline. And for us to keep coming to WA to employ Lance and build a presence here.
We can't reinvent the wheel. We need to leverage on what has already been done. There is amazing stuff that has been done in this space, We talk about measurement. Yes, the conventional farmer does want to see measurement, so we respond to that. We don't redo stuff. We know it's been done. Stuart's been doing it for 20 years, as an example. The scalability is very possible if we just do some simple things around human capability and capacity, and acknowledge that there's some really fantastic work that has been done in this space.
Before embarking on a collective conversation about scale, you need to have a collective discussion on what you mean by scale. Is it just increasing yield? Is it just, I don't know, increasing efficiency? I mean, scale may mean different things, scaling up, scaling out.
The first thing is to really understand, and that's what I've learned from Katie, scaling deep. So really understanding the system, really understanding what's happening.
For Maloon, it's around taking a communities of practice model that enables that deep engagement. You're bringing people together repeatedly in their place where they live. We're creating new knowledge together. And that process of creating communities of practice, the results and the measures of success will be different for each community, but that process can be repeated and repeated and repeated over and over again.
Are we asking the right question around, do we need to grow more food? And I always get into many arguments, so I'm sorry if I offend in advance, because I ask this question as well, but why are we producing so much food? And we export most of our food, so Nyungar country has been destroyed over a period of time to feed who, and how well are we feeding them? And then we look at, 46% of our household waste is food. So I think there's a false narrative that we feel comfortable to keep hanging on to. So it goes back to, do we need to produce more food? And I think we need to start some of this truth-telling around where we're at, and maybe we just dismantle the systems, like lean into the fear and go, actually, we might just do something completely different and farm kangaroos and emus so that Heidi is happy about what she eats and they belong on country and everyone else discovers how wonderful it is also. So I don't know, I think we need to ask some more opening questions to get this dialogue going about the change.
So what role does storytelling play in that, and how can we best elevate the voices of those leading the change on the ground?
One of the things that came up many times today was about the evidence base, and sort of preaching to the converted in this room. But I think there are two types of evidence that we can think about. One is the scientific evidence, but I think storytelling is a really powerful piece of evidence as well. So having them both is how we can contribute to that.
I would say storytelling is crucial, and in your own place, but also to hear it from other places and to recognize the successes and the failures and next to the data. But yeah, I think it's also people get inspired in different ways. So you need different forms of communication.
It's really important to hand over that microphone. Maloon might have facilitated the work at Warren's, but we want to give him the microphone to tell the story, because that farmer voice, it's that peer-to-peer learning that is going to be the inspiration for further change.
We're already saying that Western science is more valuable than traditional ecological knowledge. And I think when we talk about stories, we think like it's just a yarn, but it's actually evidence and it's data and it's real. So much more that can come out of a story. So the importance of storytelling is significant, and we've done it for tens of thousands of years, and I think we need to do more of it.
I agree.
I think today has demonstrated to me that, yes, whilst we have all the mind and the science, it is what our hearts have been telling us for a long while, and dare I put the pun in there about our guts have been telling us for a while as well. So it is actually this synchronicity between head, heart and gut that is going to be key to the continuation of this conversation about how we reimagine and regenerate our food system. Thank you all very much to the panel.